श्रीमान वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किक केसरी वेदांत आचार्य वर्यो में सन्निधत्तां सदाहृति श्रीवासरंग परकाल मुनित्रयाप्त लक्ष्मात्मरक्षण यति द्वयुगागमान्तम् आचार्य भक्ति परिभूत मनर्गशीलं गोपाल देशिक मुनिं गुरुमाश्रयामः. Swami Desikan's most wonderful stotram on Sharanagati, Sharanagati Deepika, Stotra Artha Anusandanam with Acharya Anugraham, the blessings from Acharyas. We have so far enjoyed up to 31 slokam. Today we will dwell upon 32 and 33. From 30 to 36, Swami is describing about the way how one should conduct himself or herself after the Sharanagati, after the performance of Prapatti or Sharanagati. So post Prapatti period, Uttarakritya Adhiharam. In Uttarakritya, that which is to be done, we have done, which is the performance of Sharanagati, and after that Uttarakritya. So Uttarakritya Adhiharam is a part of Srimad Rahasyatrayasaram, 15th chapter of Swami Desikan'S Srimad Rahasyatrayasaram, where he has dealt with this way how one should perform in a very extensive manner, the gist of which is in these slokas. Sloka 32 first. Tvam pancharatrikanayena pratakvidena vaikhanasena chapata niyadadhikaraha samjñā vishesha niyamena samarchayantaha pritya nayanti palavanti dinani dhanyaha tvam pancharatrikanayena pratakvidena vaikhanasena chapata niyadadhikaraha samjñā vishesha niyamena samarchayantaha pritya nayanti palavanti dinani dhanyaha. Here, last slokam, Swami mentioned paricharyaya padam in the sloka 31, means kainkaryam, and now he is explaining what is that kainkaryam, how one should do this kainkaryam. The fortunate ones, the blessed ones, perform aradhanam to you, puja to you, according to various different systems, procedures which are in use, called namely Pancharatra Agama, or according to the Shastra ritual laid down as per Vaikhanasa Agama. So there are Agamas called Pancharatra, Vaikhanasa. For example, the Srirangam, Vangipuram, all those temples follow Pancharatra, Sri Pancharatra Agama. Whereas Tirumalai, Tirupati, Srivilliputturu, those temples follow Vaikhanasa Agamam, and one should not change. Tritanka is Vaikhanasa Agamam. So here Swami mentioned paricharya or service. They do the worship, performance, puja for you based on these agamas, in which those priests are trained, for which they are earmarked, which come in their lineage, paramparai, strictly adopting the names of yours. They are uttering the namavali out of love, thereby spending their days profitably, productively, efficiently, joyously, happily, spending their rest of their lives joyously. They are fortunate ones because they are blessed with performance of kainkaryam, of doing puja at those temples. However, we can also do whatever Perumal Sannidhi in Shaligrama, in our home. Paricharya or service was mentioned in the previous slokam. What it consists is mentioned in this slokam. Paricharya. Aradhanam is done to the Lord according to the Agamas, which are mainly two in number, Pancharatra or Vaikanasa. In Pancharatra, there are several systems or Samhita called Padma Samhita, Parameshwara Samhita. Which Samhita is to be followed is defined by age-long custom. So is Vaikanasa Agama, which is followed from time immemorial. So the mode and method of these Aradhanam are prescribed. Each method adopts a particular name of the Lord. Samjna Vishesham, that is what is referred to as Samjna Vishesham. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Pancharatra Agama, Vishnu, Purushan, Satyan, Achyutan, Vaikanasa Agama, like that. Preetya, it has to be done with Preeti. It has to be done with love, adoration for Perumal. Even when we do Shaligrama Aradhana, it's not a ritual. One first vattal, one second vattal Padyam, 2 Achamaniyam, 3, like that. It's not a mechanical thing. It's out of love. It has to be done with love. That is why Sri Bhashyakara is never tired of using the word Pritikarita, Asesha Vastochita, Asesha Sheshate Karati Rupa, Nitya Kaikarya Prapta Pekshaya. So Pritikarita in relation to Kaikaryam. Yatacha Putram Daitam Tatai O Pacheret Harim. It has to be done like a father spends his time with his son. Preeti, Aravanaipu, hugging, respect, like a child, like a prince, like how one would treat a very special guest, how one would treat the baby, how one would treat the prince, how one would treat the mighty elephant. That's how we should worship Perumal. So, Yatacha Putram Daitam Tataivo Pacharet Harim. And all these procedures have been laid down by Acharyas right from Ramanuja in Nitya Grantham. We should not do it as a ritual, mechanical. So, one has to do, oh Lord, people perform your Aradhana daily in shrines, in homes with great enthusiasm, ecstasy, affection, loving touch. They do it as ordained or as laid down in the procedures, like Pancharatra or Vaikanasa, or as laid down, as taught by their Acharyas. But one or the other, these agamas are to be pursued in each shrine. And there are 5 Panchakala Prakriya. They say from the whole day needs to be spent in 5 parts. Morning, Abhigamana, first worship. Later hours, Upadana, securing the materials for the Lord's Aradhana, or doing Kalakshepam, reading the Vyakhyanams. Then noon, around 12 o'clock, Ijya Aradhana, the midday Aradhana. After the food has been cooked, the Aradhanam with all the asanams, with the procedures of bathing the Lord, dressing the Lord, adorning the Lord with ornaments, then mantra, punar mantra asanam, then mantra pushpam, then telling Namavali, recite slokas, and then offering the food which has been cooked, offered to the Lord for his partaking, and then Yoga Nidrasanam. So that is afternoon Aradhanam to the Lord. Then after that we consume that as the prasadam. And then after lunch, Swadhyayam, Vedic training or study of Vedanta, Srimad Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, or Divya Prabandham, whatever. Night yoga, reclining yoga, sleep with the Lord as an antaryami, as an indweller inside the heart. Meditate on him and then slowly go to bed. Each of it has its own virtue. They mutually supplement and complement each other. So, Prapanna uses this procedure for spending and enjoying the remaining part of life. In fact, Alvars have given expression to the intense love for the Lord that devotee has for the Supreme Paramatman. And they are illustrative of the behavior how a Prapanna should spend time in this world before attaining the eternal service in the Supreme Abode. I spent my whole time in study of scriptures and in listening to the great text like Sri Bhashyam and others, serving him in a humble manner, worshipping him day and day out without wasting my time. Vedanta Desika says, Yati pravara bharati rasabarena nitam vayaha. By drinking the juice of the Yatiraja Sukti, Yatiraja's Grantham, my hair now has become white. Means he has spent the whole day, whole life reciting, reading, enjoying the Yatiraja Sri Suktis. Remembering the utterances of the Alvars, saints, that are mixed, that are combined with the auspicious divine qualities of Perumal. Thus, I am getting rid of my immense sorrow caused by papams in this world, Alvar says. If they do not get rid of their sins and miseries like this, how can they spend their time? Alvar longs for us. Alvar pities us. And Periyalvar also says, I have spent, there will be no hunger for me on days that I may not dine. But they are really fasting days, causing pain on those days if I do not utter Ashtakshara mantra and offer flowers reciting the Vedic hymns. If I do not utter your holy names, that day is a patininal for me. That day is a day of fasting for me. Even if I eat. Periyalvar Tirumali 5.1.6. Nammalvar says, what I pray you, O Lord, is that you should accept me solely for your sake. 9.2.4. And in fact, Tirumali says, Terittelidi Vasittum Kettum Vanangi Vazhipattum Pusittum Pokkinen Podu. He spent his time usefully by studying the Shastras for his Atma Dharanam, getting instruction from Acharyas, offering obeisance and namaskaram to the Acharyas, and leading the life in a virtuous manner, and worshipping with supreme love and bhakti the Lord of all. He mentions. So, Tirumali so nicely says, Desika has profusely quoted from all these Alvars. Swami Poige Alvar mentioned, my mouth does not praise anyone other than my Supreme Lord. My hands do not venerate anyone other than the Lord. My eyes do not witness anything other than the charming beauty of Lord Krishna. My ears will not hear any vain talk, gossips. Tikkuralai Chendru Odom, Andal says. No rumors, no gossip, nothing. I'm not bothered. Only the sacred divine names of the Lord my ears will hear. I do not desire for others' wealth. I do not mix myself with the lowliest who do not like my Imperiman. I always move with the Bhagavatottamas, noble and exalted ones. I do not consider anyone other than the Supreme Narayana as the Supreme Deity. How can any sin occur to me? So, Desika has beautifully said, this is the way one should perform post-prapatti. It becomes established from all these that a prapanna will lead a supremely devoted life that's full of divine consciousness, devotes his whole period of stay here for the loving service of Paramatma. Service does not mean just physical service, also enjoyment of his Kalyana Gunam. It's Parama Bhogyam. It is Shubhashrayam. So such a beautiful manner Swami mentions here that every day should be spent by the fortunate few prapannas, Sharanagathas, who have the grace of an Acharya. They become prapannas and who are certain of the Lord's daya, taking them to Sri Vaikuntham at the end of their lives. But till then, they take special pleasure, ruchi, in serving him here by aradhana or worship, reciting, listening, reading, which is no longer a means to an end, but it is an end in itself. It's no longer upayam, it's no longer the way, it is the destination. It is Parama Bhogyam. What we enjoy in Sri Vaikuntham, we are trying to do it is like a probationary period. We are trying to simulate that experience of Sri Vaikuntham here, now, in the post-pravatti period. Going to the next slokam. Varnashramadiniyata kramasutra baddhaha bhaktya yatarka viniveshita patra pushpa maleva kala vihita hridayangamatvam amodayatyanurag anuparagatiyam saparya varnashramadiniyata kramasutra baddhaha bhaktya yatarka viniveshita patra pushpa Maleva kala vihita hridayangamatvam amodayatyanuparagadhiyam saparya. So, in the previous slokam, he talked about the procedure in which the Bhagavan needs to be worshipped. Here he says, Bhagavad Aradhanam should be in accordance with the Varnashrama Dharma. Based on that, the Aradhanam is performed. And the way how Prapannas gladly perform the Aradhana every day, they act as required by their Varnashrama. Varna, the birth order. That's our karma, for whether we are born as a Brahmin or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra, whatever gender, it is our karma and we need to perform in accordance with the body that we have taken. We should not say, I am a prapanna, I am equal to that saint. Why only he performs, I should also do that. It is in accordance with the Shastrams, as per our birth. And it should be as per our ashrama, whether it is brahmacharya or grahastha or vanaprastha or sannyasi. Brahmacharya or householder or vanaprastham, the forest traveling person, or ascetic. So these people, in accordance with Varna and Ashrama, they adorn the Lord with garlands, with flowers, with mala, beautifully, fastened with threads through tulasi and fragrant flowers. They adorn the Lord with earnestness, with enthusiasm and love. So here, this is such a beautiful slokam. They say the worship performed in you, to you, by persons with minds uncontaminated, unalloyed by the kama, krodha, moksham, kama, krodha, moham, lobham, madam, matsaryam. Without these faults, they gladden your heart like garlands lovingly prepared by firm threads, conditioned by. They are in accordance with their varnashrama. So, this sloka has got a slesha, double meaning. One side, it talks about garlands of flowers tied together by strong thread and consisting of pleasing mixture of tulasi and multicolored flowers offered by devotees out of love, prepared and offered with love. They gladden the Lord's heart. So, Prapannas strictly adhering to the prescribed duties pertaining to their respective birth and ashrama, their place in the society, whether brahmachari or grahastha or sannyasi, they worship the Lord offering flowers. So here the slashai is wonderfully closed. The garland is made of tulasi, marukolundu, different flowers like lotus, jasmine, lily, all that. And the way it is done is so nicely. Offering flowers, these prapannas do. The flower must be suited to the occasion. Kala Vihita is a very suggestive term. Kala Vihita, based on morning certain flower, evening some other flower. So it should be based on the time. The flower must be suited to the occasion. Also to the time of the day. Podellam podu kondu. First podu means time of the day. Second podu is flower. Like Kalai Malai Kamala Malarittu Neer. Kalai Malai Kamala Malarittu Neer. So nicely Alvars have said the same thing. Now, these flowers that we should think of, we should offer the garland. And what are those flowers? Lord Vishnu loves 8 flowers. And Vishnu will be pleased with those 8 flowers. That's what we need to offer during our aradhana, during our life. And what is that? It is mentioned in Prapanna Parijatam. Ahimsa pratamam pushpam. Pushpam indriya nigrahaha. Sarvabhuta daya pushpam. Kshama pushpam visheshataha. Jnanam pushpam tapah pushpam. Dhyanam pushpam tataivacha. Satyam ashtavidam pushpam. Vishnoho pritikaram bhavet. Ahimsa pratamam pushpam. Ahimsai, non-violent. We should never ever cause violence towards any being, be it in mind or word or action. No ill will toward, no harm to anyone. We should not cause harm. Any being, let alone human being, any being. Ahimsa pratamam pushpam, first flower. Pushpam indriya nigraham. This is the most difficult, especially for Adiyan. Control of senses is the second pushpam. Indriya nigraham. Control of the 5 senses. Mai, vai, kan, muk, shevi. The body, the skin, mouth, the tongue, nose, and eyes, the ears. These are the 5 crocodiles that simply pull us. Like Lord rushes to the rescue of Gajendra, which was caught by 1 crocodile. We are caught by 5 crocodiles, the 5 senses. So we should raise our hand and seek his protection to pull us out of the 5 crocodiles. Pushpam indriya nigraham, control of senses. Third, sarva bhuta dhaya pushpam, compassion towards all. Sarva bhutam, towards all. Kshama pushpam visheshataha, patience, forbearance, tolerance is the 4th. And jnanam pushpam, right jnanam, right knowledge about who we are, how we are related to Perumal, how the prapancham is related to Perumal, the difference between Atma and body, all that we need to know. Tattvatraya jnanam. Jnanam pushpam is the 5th flower. Tapah pushpam, penance, tapas, penance. Penance is nothing but contemplation, meditation, continuous dwelling on the Lord. Dvaya artha anusandanena saga sadaivam vakta yavat charirapatam atraiva srirange sukamasva. Namperumal tells Bhagavad Ramanuja in Saranagathi Gadyam. Contemplate on the meaning, the essence of Dvaya mantra, and always contemplate on that and reside peacefully in Srirangam till the end of this life. Then Shanti Pushpam, that inner peace. Then Satyam Ashtavidam Pushpam, truth. Like that there are 8 flowers. Vishnu Pritikaram Bhave. These 8 flowers are very dearer to our Lord Vishnu. Not only these flowers, but also as Sri Vishnu Bhaktas are expected to be blooming with these qualities of flowers. By becoming one, by becoming inculcated with these qualities, Perumal would be pleased with us conducting our life as in post-prapatti period. And that is what is described in this wonderful sloka. So, Satyam Ashtavidam Pushpam, Ahimsa Pratamam Pushpam. So, in these 2 slokams, we get to know that we need to spend our life peacefully. So it should be in accordance with Varnashramadi Niyatakrama Sutra Baddham. It is strung together with threads defined by the Shastras of the Lord. Bhaktya, these aradhanams are performed with great bhakti. Kala Vigita Saparya, they are conducted at the time designated by the Nitya Gramsam of Lord Ramanuja and the Shastrams. Then Hridayangama Saparyaha, they are enchanting because of the Hridaya Bhavam, heartfelt Bhavam of these Prapannas with no interest in the fruits of their Aradhana. They are not expecting any fruit, any palam. They just want the pleasure of the Lord. So the pleasure of the Lord gets from such Aradhanam done by these Mahatmas is equal to the pleasure he enjoys from the fragrance of the Vanamalai adorning his chest. When that Prapanna is fully devoted with no expectation of any fruit, with only for Perumal's Mukhollasam, for his pleasure, if the Aradhanam is done, Perumal enjoys that Aradhanam as if he enjoys the Vanamalai which he is adorning in his chest. Adiyan, Dhanyosmi, Acharyan Trivadigalai Sharanam, Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashalini, Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.